late. My watch is charging, so I can't tell you exactly when. It's probably 9:30-ish. Sebastian's in the tub. He and his daddy went on a walk and didn't get home till, I don't know, 10 minutes before 9. And because of that, he was eating birthday cake at 9 o'clock when I came down to get him. So I had to wait for him to finish that. And he's going to be talking my ear off. I'm going to put you right here while I make this bed. He's going to be talking my ear off when he's supposed to be going to sleep. Last night it took so long for him to fall asleep. You didn't even have his cake quite that late, but it was too late for cake. Anyway, puppies. Okay, hi. Probably looking rough, but yeah, I just took a bath. Today, my main goal was to start rebraiding. I'm doing the same color, so I don't have to finish. Just have to do the ones that are getting loose and gross. Like there's some in the back that I had done really first. That doesn't make sense. But another main goal is I always part my bangs here because my temple hair and this hair just doesn't grow quite as fast as the stuff in the middle. So these temples are shorter. So if my part used to be right here and just there wasn't enough hair. If I parted my bangs this way, I wanted more hair. So it's been going like this for months, but then the parts didn't line up. So I've made it through 2 rows of cleaning up all the parts and making them look a lot nicer because I've been so lazy about that and I just don't even care. So I'm gonna at least do half of the top of my head of cleaning up the parts. These clips are holding little bits of hair that I've had to leave out because I straightened the parts and left some out, and that has to go in the row behind it. So probably the first 2 to 3 rows I'll do, and then next time I'll clean up more and then make it through all my hair of making everything straight and nice. So that was how I spent most of my afternoon. I think we got home like 1:30 from going to brunch. We took Piggy to a place called Lazy Dog. We've been going there recently because lots of rainy weekends and they have an outdoor area that's covered and they let dogs come. Awkward story. While we were waiting for our table, we requested a low top table and there were only high tops free. So we were waiting and a couple with a husky got seated at one of the high tops. So they walked past us and they go all the way to the back section. We couldn't really see, but all of a sudden there was like chaos barking, like, like so loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what dog fights sound like, and I knew it was one-sided. One dog just losing their mind, but I was like, alrighty. And then it wasn't actually too long before our table was ready. They were being super nice and coming out every minute or two saying, oh, I got you. Are you sure you don't want a high top? But I think people are leaving. We'll clean it up. She brought us out without me having to go back into the restaurant, and because they gave you text messages, and so I was expecting to have to go back up to the host stand and stuff. But no, they're so nice. So they brought us all the way to the back again, but we had a low top, and they sit us down diagonally from a table that had 2 like hound mixes sitting under the table, and that was where the commotion was coming from. One of them just lost his poop again. And Piggy's like, what's going on? But we were like, oh, some dogs are like that, whatever. And just settled in, didn't even care. But we saw the manager, who we recognized from all of our recent visits, go over and chat with him. And I noticed a guy, one of the men sitting there, stand up with one of the dogs. I figured he was just taking him outside to distract him, calm him down. It wasn't even the loud one. But then we got caught up ordering and stuff. And then next thing I know, I look over and that table's empty. It's just a couple minutes later. But I was like, oh, but there's a whole plate of food there, like a whole appetizer. And Danny's like, yeah, and their drinks are full. And we came to the conclusion they were probably kicked out. And it was kind of confirmed. A minute or two later, the manager came to our table. We were waiting on our drinks, and he's like, oh, hi, welcome. So great to see you. I'm so sorry about all that commotion. Sometimes people try to socialize their dogs, and the dogs are just not having it. So I'm really sorry about that. And he was like, oh, I've got a mini Aussie at home. And Ziggy barked at him a little bit. He has a thing about when people like are tall and large and lean down on him, or sometimes hats or sunglasses on top of your head will do it too. And it's always men. But he has two different color eyes, and I think people just really like look him in the eye, and that's intimidating when you're a stranger. Or when you meet a dog, you shouldn't stare into their eyes like this. And we're working on him. But usually I warn people, I'm like, oh, he gets a little scared, he might bark. But the guy didn't care, so that's okay. We didn't get kicked out. But that was our little story. Anyway, we had the breakfast. We couldn't take the Jeep because it was raining off and on. Came home and I got to work doing braiding, and I braided until I had to stop for dinner. I did let myself sit for 15 minutes because my legs were aching. I don't have the best circulation, and hours of standing there can do that. And this is slower than regular braiding because it'll take me a solid 15 minutes to fix braids once they're like on the side of my head and I'm using mirrors. So there's a reason why I don't do my parts very often. But then I made a veggie pasta and went up to the bath. So the day felt extremely short, but I guess just so much of it was sucked up by braiding. I did do some touch-up paint on the windows in the bathroom, but that was quick. It was nice to not have to do painting because I was using muscles I don't usually use and I'm all sore. But the bath fixed it. I'm feeling good now. Oh, that's cute. He said he was putting together all the little sets he'd been putting on display in my bedroom for me. And yeah, he's putting them together. Anyway, tomorrow's Monday. Tuesday is Sebastian's birthday. So tomorrow we might hunt down a tasty cupcake for him because we're going to sing and light his candle on his birthday. And I promised him just some sort of mini cake or a fancy cupcake that he gets to choose. He's still eating his raspberry cake and he's loving it. So we might go out and do that. I obviously have painting I can do, but I need to really focus on our trip because we're suddenly going. We seem to love that for us this year. The one that we suddenly took with bonus money in April, which again, we were inside the house almost the entire time. We had one beach day. But yeah, we did that on less than 2 weeks notice, I think. Love that for us. So yeah, I don't know what I'll get up to. A lot of planning, but I can't go full on into prep because we're trying to see if Yvonne can work from home, work remote on the trip and come with us, because that'll give us 2 cars to pack. But it's looking like probably not, even though he was hired to be a teleworker. They've kind of left him hanging on that. He's literally now the only one that has to go to the office. But we're probably going to be in the Jeep because Danny really wants the Jeep, which will be weird for me because I'm used to driving us around Duck. That's one of the only places anywhere that I'm willing to drive besides here because I get a lot of driving anxiety. But I won't drive any car other than my car because I'm not used to them. So I hope he doesn't expect me to drive him after he's had drinks. He needs to like not drink. If I'm the only other adult and there's only his Jeep, I do not know how to drive his Jeep, especially at night. And busier than we're used to beach towns. only gone in June once. It was the beginning of June, and it was definitely pretty crazy. And this was June 2020 when a lot of people had to cancel, so there weren't as many people as would normally be there on a June date. I'm just babbling. It's been 10 minutes. I'm gonna go. I will see you tomorrow. I'm sorry these videos have been so boring, but it's just my life. It's my life right now. Sorry I'm distracted by that humongous nail pop. You can see the chunk of ceiling that came out of it. Can I glue that back in place? Alright, good night friends. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget, wash your hands.